telling us about the confidence or the growth in confidence he's seen out of Ty from last year to this year? And kind of what are some of the factors you've seen from him that have allowed him to get off of this record starting match?
Yeah, I would just say his maturity, right? He's had a career where he's had to stay persistent. You know, he came in as a young guy, played a little bit, was, you know, on all special teams, didn't really get the opportunity he wanted to on offense, you know, as quick as he wanted. But I think the biggest thing for him is he's just stayed the course and he stayed persistent, you know, in his growth as a receiver. And then the biggest thing between, I think, last year and this year is just his mental, you know, the mental side of his game, knowing that he's an older player now, not trying to force things, knowing that, you know, letting the game come to him, not getting frustrated when it doesn't. I think that's been those two things have been the biggest thing. I think that has, you know, helped him have the hot start he's had this year. And that'll continue, you know, to help him throughout the rest of this year and throughout the rest of his football career, just the mental jump he's made. And, you know, he's, like I said, he's always been one of the hardest workers. He's been very persistent. So if he can, you know, keep that up, and, you know, on the flip side of that, keep his head on straight. Obviously the game gets tough and, you know, we have a lot of external things to deal with. And I think, you know, he'll be successful for however long he plays. So those are the two biggest things that jump out just from what I've seen, you know, in my relationship with him.
Billy, after 3 weeks as the starter, what are you seeing in yourself when you're watching film after the games, the next day, the day after, differently than you were in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, like Coach Ox always says, and I see what I'm doing in practice, right? A lot of the bigger throws I'm able to make, or the important throws in games that, you know, I've been able to make, I feel like I've done in practice, you know, multiple times last week. You know, missed, I think, a few deep shots there on the first drive early in the game. Obviously connected with the one with KP for the first drive of the third quarter, the touchdown. But I feel like I just see myself try to grow in confidence every week. I think the biggest thing, like I said, you know, the last time I was up here is just my preparation. You know, can't change. I have to get after it in practice Monday through Friday and make those throws. And, you know, correct the mistakes that I'm making so that, you know, when we come out Saturday, it doesn't matter who we're playing, where we're playing, whatever it is, you know, I'll be able to handle the call and have all the confidence in the world to go make whatever throw. So I feel like I've just seen myself gain confidence and, you know, I'm a big 1 week guy, one at a time guy, so I try to just flush it. And, you know, this week, right, got the next game, the next opportunity, so we got to get after it, you know, yesterday and through Friday and you know, create that confidence for myself so that I can go out there Saturday and make all the throws.
And obviously with the success that Ty's had so far, other teams are going to start, I imagine, saying, number one job, keep Ty Felton out. So we started to get more receivers involved in last Saturday's game, and Katie was getting in a touchdown. I mean, now how do you sort of make sure that that's also part of the game? Are you starting to see defenses sort of try to take Ty out of the game already?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. I think coming out the first 2 games of the year, I think a lot of teams try to take away Caden Prather, which is why, you know, one of the many reasons why Ty's, you know, been able to have the success he's had so far this year. But that's, you know, that's the chess match of football. We have a very, very deep skill room, you know, whether it's receiver, running back, tight end. I have a lot of guys that are way more athletic than me that I can get the ball to. So that's the chess match of football. I'm sure, you know, the tables start to turn. Teams will try to take away Ty, and we got, you know, 6, 7 other playmakers that are getting ready to get the ball in their hands and go do something with it. So, yeah, I'm sure, you know, I saw a little bit last week. Obviously, they gave us a lot of off coverage, not, you know, trying to keep stuff, you know, in front of them and not let us get, you know, behind them in the passing game. But, yeah, I'm sure, you know, that's part of football, right? When you have this much success, teams obviously take notice of it and try to make a game plan to stop it. So we'll have to, you know, as a coaching staff, we're already ahead of the 8 ball, you know, getting plays where we can get all the guys, all our playmakers touches. But, you know, my job as a quarterback is just to go out there, read what the defense does, and the defense continues to not take Ty away. I'll continue to feed them. If they do, then, you know, like I said, we got 6, 7 other playmakers that we can get the ball to and let them go be special.
Billy, what have you seen on tape Villanova's defense? What kind of makes them tick?
Yeah, they do some similar stuff to what UConn showed us in the week 1. You know, it's not the traditional defense, but they're very sound in what they do. They're very good at what they do. It's like I said, it's not traditional, so you won't see this 10 out of the 12 weeks of the season. But they're very, you know, they run their stuff and they run it really well. So I think the biggest thing for us is just to go out there. You know, we have our rules, we have our keys. There's going to be some different looks that, you know, we haven't seen a ton this year, or that UConn threw at us that was new. So I think the biggest thing for us is just to go out there and execute, whether, you know, they're playing, you know, pass coverage and you know, we can't throw the ball deep. We got to take the check down. If they give us, you know, confusing looks in boxes, we just got to be able to cover people up, block them, and, you know, get the run game going early. But yeah, they run some different stuff, not stuff we haven't seen before, but not stuff we see every day. So I think, we're all excited, especially, the interior guys, the offensive line is excited for the challenge to get up there and, face some new structures up front and, try to get the run game going, try to protect me and let the playmakers make plays.
And what does it mean to have the confidence and faith of your coach in you? What does it mean for Mike to say stuff like, he's got the mind of a coach, the body of an athlete, as opposed to the other way around?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely means all the confidence for me to go out there and play. I think, to get that confidence in him, it goes back to a lot of the time we spend together, a lot of the work that, whether it's me watching film with him or just the work outside of here with the quarterbacks. I feel like all the players in our team, but especially myself, we put in the work to create that confidence and give ourselves a chance on Saturdays. But yeah, it means a lot. We've obviously spent, the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, spent a lot of late nights up there watching tape, talking about all sorts of things of football. So it's been good, obviously in that fourth quarter drive, I knew they were going to give me the ball for those last couple plays to try to punch it in and put us up 2 scores. So yeah, I was just happy, obviously if I get the ball, I get the ball, but I'm just happy we were able to punch that one in and, go up 2 scores with about 5 minutes left, put the game, in a little bit better of a situation for our defense so that we know it wasn't a one-score game. We weren't, all or nothing on it, but yeah, it feels good. And at the end of the day, I just want to win. So whether that's me throwing the ball 60 times or I hand it off to, our talented running backs, I'll be good with whatever it is.
Hey Billy, talk to me a little bit about from a quarterback's perspective. I know that explosive plays are such a big part of your guys' offensive recipe. What goes into kind of, as a QB, I assume you want those type of plays, right, a lot. Controlling the game while also making sure that you're getting those, 20 plus, 30 plus yard throws. Boxley talked about Ty catching a 5-yard catch and taking 80 yards, but
yep.
That's different than Caden catching a fade ball for 35 yards. What goes into kind of each play having a chance for an explosive, or are there certain play calls that are more designed to get those?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a sliding scale. I think we definitely have play calls where we're going to be aggressive and we're going to try to take the top off defenses and push the ball downfield. I think the biggest thing from my perspective as a quarterback is to not force it. I think that was the biggest thing that I tried to do coming into this season, knowing I was going to be the starter, is not force things, right? I have talented enough receivers to where you saw week 1, I can throw a 5 against Ty and he can take it 75. And the way we are offensively, the way teams are going to play us, they're going to try to limit those deep explosive plays, those deep shots down the field. So I think the biggest thing for me is to be in tune with the head coach and the offensive coordinator, knowing the intent of the play call. And then the second thing is just handling it, because there's going to be times where, they press Ty or they press KP and we have a chance to take, a one-on-one shot downfield. And then when they want to play off and give us access, I got to, throw the 4-yard route and let them do their things. Just, I'd say the biggest thing, Coach Locke talks about the game of football being pure and not to force things. Just let the game come to you. So I think that's probably the main message as a quarterback when handling calls, trying to be explosive at the same time, not forcing things at the end of the day.
Is that something you guys emphasize with those explosives? Is there like a goal you have per week of like, hey, we want to get this amount of 20 plus yards?
Yeah, we have I think it's like 8 or 10 or more between run or pass. So we obviously have a goal that we set. I don't think we hit it this week, but it's part of the game. It's part of the game when teams. UVA gave us a lot of access throws, played off a lot. Same thing that UConn did a little bit, Michigan State, just things that we've seen so far this season. So the biggest thing is just for me is just to take what they give us and just keep chipping away, because eventually you're either going to keep giving us the the access throws, or we're going to be at the 10-yard line and we're going to be in prime position to score a touchdown. So that's, I think, the biggest thing for me is just to not force it and just take what the defense gives us, and the big explosive plays that we want and need will happen organically.
Is that 8 or 10 explosives per game?
Correct.
And is that 20 plus yard? What do you guys do?
I think there's some measuring scale I can figure out for sure, but I think it's like 12 yards plus of a run or like 15 yards plus of a pass play.